Hello everybody, it's Reggie here with TheFitnessTutor.com. I think that together everyone achieves more. So let's work as a team. And I want to do my part as a law-abiding citizen of the United States of America and as a law-abiding citizen on this planet. I want to do my part and help eradicate the planet of this myth that lifting weights and lifting heavy weights makes you big, bulky, gain too much muscle, gain too much weight, makes a female look like a male, etc., etc., etc. That lifting weights makes you anything more than a person who lifts weights. So, to get to the bottom line with this video, again, to review, what is the one thing that we know from years upon years of research that we get wrong when it comes to trying to make changes in our body? It's that we generally suck at accounting for how many calories we burn, how many calories we need, how many calories we eat, etc., etc. And that's the only thing that's happening. You know, in the bodybuilding world, I say we, but in the bodybuilding world, when we want to gain weight, gain muscle, even a small amount, if it's a small amount of muscle or a big amount of muscle, we call it going on a bulk, bulking. And the cardinal rule that everybody knows is that it doesn't matter what you're planning on doing, you better start adding in extra calories. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And that's it, right? There are different little things that can fool people, such as water weight gain. That can play a big role in messing people up with this idea, especially when they start getting on the scale. You can wake up in the morning and put on 5 pounds of water since yesterday. You can do that, or over the course of a week or 2 weeks or a month, you could be holding 10, 15 extra pounds of water that you wasn't accustomed to. But again, if you do have that happen to you, there's something that you're not doing as far as your eating. It might not be totally a caloric thing. And for some people, you actually need some of that water. Water weight is not always a bad thing. We're 75% water. You're gonna have transient water weight fluctuations. That's why I tell everybody to weigh themselves every day if you're concerned, because you need to see that sometimes weight loss is not linear. What happens with females a lot is, you know, you'll see a female in the gym, in a magazine, Facebook picture, YouTube, TV, whatever, and they start taking on certain qualities that you might not find attractive. Especially when what most people say a female starts to look too much like a male. It's just simply because they are injecting themselves with male hormones, testosterone, and other drugs, compounds, steroids, and other things that people will call steroids, and that's just part of what happens. So that's what you're looking at many times. And it's not a knock or a judgment against those people. I know plenty, well not plenty, I know quite a few people who do that. And they are great people. But that's just the fact. And you know, you seldom see a male or female admit to what they're taking because in America it's illegal. But that's what you're looking at. So it's again confusing causation with correlation, because the cause of these females looking however they're looking is because they are taking performance enhancing drugs and steroids. It's not because of the weight that they're lifting or the way that they're working out. But obviously that's a logical assumption. So, you know, a lot of companies and people are just going to flat out lie or just not know what they're talking about, and they're going to try to use that logical assumption to sell you on wasting your time doing, you know, working out with a bar or buying a bar and putting it in your living room and trying to work out on it because you think otherwise would be leading you down a path to getting bulky, but you want to have a body like a dancer. Like I have a video on I have a commercial on my DVR. I'm going to show that and talk about it one day, where this trainer, all right, successful trainer, just flat out says, do you see why lifting weights makes you bulky? I mean, that should be borderline illegal, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'm kind of talking a little bit of junk, but I mean, that's just, and that type of thing just goes on throughout the industry. And you know, then you'll have another successful trainer say something like, females should never work out with anything more than 3 or 5 pounds. It's because she's trying to sell you on a logical but false assumption. She's trying to sell you on doing what she does, or coming back to her blog so she can eventually sell you through her email on some crap that she's selling. And the sad part, kind of the negative takeaway to this whole myth, is that it keeps people from doing one of the most beneficial things you could ever do, which is lift some serious weight. It just has way more benefit when it comes to your metabolism, your lean body mass, your ability to do what most people would call toning, which doesn't exist, all right, because you're only talking about building muscle or burning fat. It's the only thing that happens. So your ability to achieve your toning goals will be dramatically increased. You know, bone health, warding off disease, etc., etc. It's just, there's way too many benefits. And if you want to burn calories, then just lift weights. And another thing is, stop believing that a female should not be strong, or shouldn't want to get stronger, or stronger. There's nothing wrong with getting stronger. You should have a certain baseline of strength. There should be certain things that a healthy male or female should be able to do. And it has nothing to do with being masculine or feminine or anything like that. It's about being healthy, basically. You know, so, and you don't have to put on really 1 ounce of muscle in order to get strong, and in order to get measurably and considerably stronger, because strength is largely a neurological thing. We'll talk about that in another video. Now, yeah, at any given point, someone might be at their limit as to where they might need to put on some extra muscle mass in order to get stronger, but that's usually at a more advanced level of training. So you don't have to really put on 1 ounce of muscle to get stronger. And getting stronger carries over into pretty much every other facet of your life. And to push this point a little bit further, what I want to do is link to some other channels out there on YouTube that are females who lift heavy weight very often. In many cases, they lift heavier weight than a lot of men. They lift more often than a lot of men. And none of these females have any qualities whatsoever other than just being females. And I'll let you prove that to yourself if you want to go visit some of these other channels. But just to name a few that pop into my head, and all these girls, by the way, squat, bench, deadlift, pull up, rows, all those typical bodybuilder type movements. If the myth was true, all of these girls would have pretty much been so big and bulky after a year or two of lifting super heavy weight. I mean, their transformation would be complete by now. All right. So if that's not happening with these people, why isn't it happening? It's because they aren't on steroids and they're not overeating. Period. There's nothing else going on. So to name a few that pop into my head, you have Chelsea Lifts, Chelsea Carabin, I think is her last name, power lifter. You have Nikki Blackadder, who I think is a bikini model. You have One Fit Ash Mom, who is a bikini competitor, I think. You have Comas Keck, very popular, and all the girls at the Stronger movement. So I think you get the basic idea of what this video is about, and it's gonna be at its root about what a lot of my other videos are about, which is protein, fats, and carbs, and how many calories are you eating. So, love, peace, bacon grease, and donut yeast. Stop the madness, please. Stop spreading this rumor. Stop spreading those rumors around. You need to stop spreading those lies. And I'm out.